kit cost £1,000. Oh.
I don't know why I ask Oliver Evans these things. Nah, don't be a pussy. F***ing send it in. Right, I'm gonna send it.
Okay.
She doesn't seem to be liking it, does she?
Good morning, everybody. Here is my E30, which is a shell that we picked up for a really good price on a full wide body kit. It's full cage, but it's got no engine, no wiring, no absolutely nothing. So we bought an LS400 and we took out the 1UZ. So we're going to do 1UZ swapping my E30 BMW. In the last episodes, we ended up taking the engine out. We started up prepping the engine and everything like that. Today we're going to be starting just cracking off a load of jobs, and we're going to start getting this. I want this done in the next couple of months. I ideally want it done sooner than that, but I've got to wait for parts, and I know I'm going to have to send the prop shaft off to get built and things like that. So I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to say 2 months. So today, here in this box, we've actually got a full adapter plate. We've got this from a company from Poland. We've got an adapter plate, custom flywheel, custom clutch. Everything is in here, so this will make this engine ready for a manual gearbox. And we have the manual gearbox over here. We've got a BMW 6-speed diesel manual gearbox. So we're going to be putting that gearbox onto this engine, and then that's going to go in this car. So today we're going to be making some big moves. We need to do a bit of welding and stuff because we need to make some EGR blanks. We need to make we need to make 3 little plates out of metal, so we're going to do that. But first of all, unbox these boxes. I've never had anything like this before, so I want to see how it comes and what comes with the kit. Because this kit cost £1,000, so it's not cheap. But for what you get, I think it's okay. So this is a big part of the build, I'm not going to lie. I don't want to mess this bit up. Oh, this is our adapter plate. Oh my God, look at this. 1UZ. To BMW. Yeah, so we have all, they to me look like all the gearbox bolts, both sides. And then here is our clutch, so it's a stage 1 clutch. I don't think this is there, this is just like a clutch they include, so it's a Sachs clutch. So it's a Sachs clutch. And then here is our release bearing that we need, so the proper release bearing. So none of this messing around for months like we did with the 190E. And then here is the correct clutch fork that we need as well. So again, what I just ordered here collectively took me around 5 or 6 months to find for the 190E, and we just ordered it all in one package. Okay, so I've just lifted the engine a bit higher on some blocks of wood. So now it's kind of like sat off the crane, and we've got plenty of room to put the flywheel and the adapters on. So first of all, we're going to do the we're going to do the adapter plate, and we're going to get the flywheel on. So there's no instructions in the box, but there are instructions on the website. So I'll include some screenshots as I'm talking. So the first thing it says is that use the flywheel and the ring gear from the automatic gearbox. So we're going to be using this ring gear, and put a OE spacer between the engine block and the flex plate. That confused me because there's a spacer here. I've just got to follow these instructions, so they're quite confusing, and I think I'm going to have to measure up the bolts and things like that. But once I've just got my head around it, because they've basically just split the whole thing out, and they've labelled the bolts, but they've not labelled the bolts in the boxes, but they have given us thread sizes and stuff. So I'm going to have to just label everything out. Imagine like running an IKEA thing. Just get everything and label them all out, and then you can start putting them in. So let's label everything out, let's get everything in the right position, and then we can start bolting everything out. Oh my God, am I excited. Okay, so I've tried to label up every single bolt, and most of them are okay. So they're right, these are right, they're right. Anyway, there's one, so we've got NR, well, one's the flywheel, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 is kind of like not these bolts and not them bolts. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe they're for the new gearbox? I think they are. No, they can't be. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not quite sure. I'm guessing therefore they have to be for the new gearbox. I'm just going to give the block a bit of a clean, bit of a wire brush and a little bit of a flatten, because it was full of shit. So I'm literally just following the instructions, and I'm just loosely putting in all the bolts and basically just praying that we don't have like any, well, I don't mind ones being left over, but I'm praying that we don't have ones that
don't have. What we're going to do is we're just going to put them loose with the gun, and then we're going to torque them down. Oh, come on. The adapter plate is actually all bolted up and torqued down, so now we've got to take off the ring gear. And then we're going to replace these bolts for the flywheel. And we're going to leave everything where it is because that's where it needs to go. It's just we need to just bolt the flywheel to there now instead of these. But I am going to clean out them threads, so we're going to take it off and just clean out these threads. Behind the ring gear there was the spacer, and this is the spacer they're talking about in the thing. It says use one spacer between the engine block and the ring gear. So we are going to reuse this. I'm just cleaning it up. The only problem is now is that I don't know if I'm meant to use this one which goes on top. I don't think that's, I mean, it's just a washer. I wouldn't even say it's a spacer. I think that's literally just a washer to go on the ring gear. So in the pictures, it actually does look like they reuse this. So I am going to reuse that, and we're going to put that there. Cleaned up the spacer, cleaned up all the threads. The ring gear is going to sit on here, and then we're going to bolt the flywheel to this. And then the flywheel sits on there. Gonna get some thread lock, just put a little bit of thread lock on. Oh, she's coming along, oh my god. Right, so we've got a bit of thread lock here. We're just putting a little bit on. Pain, trying to line it up because you've got four things which move. So you've got the flywheel, the first spacer, the washer, the ring gear, and then the spacer. So I've had to just kind of, you know, wiggle it in, do one of those things. Also, I read the instructions a minute ago. We have to drill a hole in the gearbox bell housing for the starter to go. So I'm not looking forward to that. Oh no, I forgot this. Good job I didn't torque them all down. That would have been really annoying. Right, so it's 83 Newton meters for the flywheel. So I hate this. It always feels so crap. Fucking hell.
83 Newton meters?
Yeah.
You're just making it look hard work. You need to go down the gym, mate.
Hey, I'm terrified here. These are only little bolts. Oh, there we go. Right, so the adapter plate is on, the flywheel is on. We're going to do the clutch now. So I've got a clutch alignment tool. And I've probably used one of these about 5 or 6 times in my life. I can still never, ever get the hang of it. So it's a weird looking clutch. What? Okay, so we've got a bit of an issue here, and this might be long-winded, so stay with me. Basically, this is a BMW clutch pressure plate, and they have their own special tool. Of course they do. So you have a little spline here, and so Gary's actually got a BMW tool. He's just found one, so that's going to go gearbox side. So that's going to go on there, the clutch. What you usually do, you usually just put the pressure plate, you usually just put a clutch alignment tool through there and then pull it close and line it up. But with a BMW one, you need a special tool. Now, Gary has these special tools, but we can't use this special tool because we have a spline here, so we can't use that. So I'm guessing the ones that this tool uses, it's where the spline is in the gearbox, not on the flywheel, because obviously right now that'll just be hitting that. So the idea is that you'd have the spigot bearing in the flywheel, whereas on my gearbox, it's got the spigot bearing in the actual gearbox. So that's not going to work. You need almost like a female version of this, which goes in there and then slides over that. But we don't have that. These are all male versions. So I'm going to have to YouTube it and see what people have done. It's to be lined up on there, bang on in the middle. Otherwise, the gearbox isn't going to slide onto the dowel and into them. It's just not going to do it. So I'm going to have a look on YouTube and see if someone's done it before. As you can see, you've got the dowel there on the flywheel, and in the gearbox, you've got a hole where the dowel goes in, which is really weird because most gearboxes are the other way around. And I'm trying to search online to see what people have done, and most BMWs are actually not like this. It's just this gearbox is. Okay, the only thing I have to do is just try and line it up by eye, to be honest. When I place it on, it kind of sits like bang on in the middle, just like without even me holding it. So look at this, it actually sits like pretty bang on in the middle as it is. So I think what we're gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to just try to bolt it up and just see if the gearbox goes on. So let's just give that a go. So I've been searching for a while now and I can't really find an answer. I've texted my guy over Evans because he's done like a load of BMW swaps and stuff. So I've texted him like, have you seen a flywheel like this? But looking at that there now, that looks pretty bang on to me. So I don't know why I ask Oliver Evans these things. I've asked him for advice. Nah, don't be a pussy. I align. Send it in. Why do I ask him? Right, we're doing it by eye. I'm going to try and just line it up as best as possible. It's not very good because I can't really see very well. Right, there's the clutch. Right, so, yeah?
Okay.
Does that look even to you? I think that looks a bit even to me.
Yeah, feels it.
Right.
Oh, I suppose one.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to send it.
Okay.
You ready?
Go.
A bit more? Or? There we go.
It's got the skin.
Has it?
Ah.
Is it actually? Right. Well, I hope that's on.
Find out soon.
I will. I've took the pressure. I've took the clutch and everything off. So not the clutch, but I've took the release bearing off and that. So I'm going to try and slide it on now. Cool. Why are you here? Do you want me to put you up?
Oh, let me go and get some.
Sorry. You ready?
Mind your fingers. I'll tell you what needs to get the bottom.
Oh. She doesn't seem to be liking it, does she?
On the first.
Felt like it went in the clutch, but not on the dowel thing.
Yeah, into the.
Yeah.
It went into the first bit.
Yeah. It was a bit of a pain getting the box on. It like weren't sliding on, but we put some bolts in and tightened it, and it's pulled it, and it's in gear, and it's like it's on, which is good. So now we need to just pull these two bolts off, which I put in, tighten the clutch plate bolts, and as Ronnie said, take it off nicely so we don't move the clutch. And then that's the gearbox on. Okay, the pressure plate is on. I couldn't find the correct torque settings because when I googled, I don't know what this flywheel is. You know what I mean? And I don't know, the bolts are weird and it's not. So it's a BMW clutch E90. So I've typed that in and it said if it's an 8.8 rated bolt, it's 24 Newton meters. If it's a 10.9 rated bolt, it's 34 Newton meters. These are 12.9, so they're strong bolts. So I set it to 34 and I was getting to the point where I was like, this is tight, man. Like I was literally like hanging off it. So they're all a similar torque. They're not 34, but they're somewhere between there. So they're somewhere between 24 and 34. I was hanging off it. I was like, mate, these are M8 bolts. So I've never done pressure plate bolts that tight in my life. So I think it's fine. They're all tight. They're all the same. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna actually build up the gearbox. So we're gonna put the pressure plate, not the pressure plate. We're going to put the clutch fork and the release bearing on, which has been supplied in this kit, and then we're going to bolt up the gearbox, and then that's it. You know, we're good to go. It does come with this little retaining clip as well, so I took all of this off when we was putting the gearbox on, just so it didn't hit the spline, so I knew it was going to fit. So we need to put this retaining clip on the dowel thing, and then that can go on there. Can't remember which way it goes, to be honest. I think they're quite symmetrical, to be honest, but I'm sure we'll find out. So it turns out there's a specific way you have to put this release bearing on. There's a gap there and a gap there. See the differences between those? It wants this one to be at the top, so it wants it sitting like that. A good job I have read the instructions, because this is what this thing is. This is a pivot. This is a gearbox pivot, and this needs to be replaced with that one, so we need to put the bigger one on here. So this is a thread. I'm guessing there's a thread in there as well. So this is threaded. There is like a little plastic thing at the back, which I thought might have been like a little cover for like a bolt, but there's nothing underneath it. So I've resorted to some grips. Let's just try and spin this all the way out. Oh, there it comes. Ah, wait, what? Oh, okay. I think you're meant to put a screw in the back to make it fall out, because it is screwed, But like, see, the plastic thing's just ruined because there's no head on it. So I'm guessing it's screwed into the plastic and it's just brought the plastic out. So I'm guessing what's gonna happen now is that's just gonna float around. Yeah, so we gotta put a screw in the back of there. So the clutch fork sits like that. So that's gonna be pushing the clutch. What we do, I've got to cut a little bit off here. Otherwise, when the starter comes out, it's just gonna hit against this. So this bolt here is that bolt, so right underneath it. So what's happening is when we're gonna turn the car, the starter's gonna pop out here by like ½ an inch, and it's just gonna hit that. So we need to cut that off, and amazingly, my grinder stopped working for like a week. It's working! Oh, I spoke too soon. It's dead again. There we go. I think that's probably going to be enough. It's going to pop out that much. Don't think it's going to pop out that far because the ring gear is pretty close as it is. Only one way we're going to find out though, and if it's not right, it's going to be when it's too late. It's going to be in the fucking car. So I might take a little bit more off just to be safe. Right, hopefully this is the last time the box is going on. What are you thinking?
Well, until you get in, start up and realise that's sitting on the gearbox.
I mean, the only thing that's going to be popping out is the little circular bit.
It's only at the end there, so.
Yeah, and I've cut off loads, right?
Yeah, that shit's going down. I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, that bit, I was just. What do you think to take that off?
It's a bit of an angle, isn't it?
I think I'll just take that last bit off then.
Yeah.
I did say that to the camera a minute ago, I said I might need to.
The thing is, if you don't cut it off and then get in and it hits, you're going to be kicking yourself.
I think that's all of them now. I think we just got to do. Yeah, we just got to get the little ones. Dun, 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 dun. Just got to get the little ones underneath, which there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think there's 3 of them. Great. Okay, I'm not missing one because the one at the bottom here doesn't actually line up to anything, so I'm not missing one. The gearbox is on. It's a bit wonky at the minute because trying to push the gearbox on, I pushed off the wood, so I'm going to have to just get it on the crane and jack it up a little bit. But I'm going to end the video here. This took way too long. I think it's mainly because obviously like the instructions work so well for most of it, and then the thing is on the instructions they had 2 different gearboxes and they look similar, but I'm guessing they just put 2 different gearboxes and then just the actual bolts for both in there, but then just kept one set of instructions. So I'm pretty sure that the other set of instructions which I've been following, especially at the end, because that's the only way it gets a bit different with the gearbox. Obviously, so if it's a 1UZ, the adapt plate is going to be the same. So all the 1UZ part of the instructions worked really well. And then when we got to the actual gearbox side of the instructions, they didn't. Guessing that's why they've chucked all the bolts in there. So the past couple hours I've been trying to follow these instructions and taking the bolts on and off, and it's been a bit of a faff to be fair. But we've got it done, which is good news. So I'm going to end this video here. We need to, in the next video, we're going to hopefully have the engine mounts here and we can actually put it inside the car. We're just waiting for these engine mounts to come. Thank you, huge thanks to Powerflex. So Powerflex has sent me out some engine mounts for this, which is great. So huge thank you to Powerflex. Once they're here, we can put it in the car. And then literally the main thing is once it's in the car, I'm just going to do all the wiring and just start it because I want to hear. I'm not going to mess around doing all the prop shaft and doing all the gearbox mounts and stuff. I just want to make sure it runs. Once it's in the car and it's running, I'm going to be super happy, and the rest is just going to be, you know, a nice end. So thanks for watching everyone. Love you all. Hope you enjoy this series, and we'll see you in the next video.